Hey everyone. So, one thing I want to talk about is in the comments, some people watch my videos and say, "Hey, I don't think that um, you should promote methadone cold turkey. I think it's dangerous and stuff like that." I want to make things clear. When I talk about methadone cold turkey, it's in reference to those who have no option to, right? I do not at all promote, and I say this in many of my videos, I do not at all promote people getting off of methadone cold turkey. It's like people who are in my position where I had to move and there was no clinic around me and I had no access to methadone. So I had to get off and I had to find a way to make things less um, horrific for myself, right? It was bad. Like I said, my story was that I got off and moved 5 hours down to Oregon. I was in Washington, and I went through 9 days of horrific methadone withdrawal, and then I found Kratom. That's why I'm an advocate for Kratom. Now, the one thing I will also want to talk about Kratom is a lot of people say Kratom is just as dangerous and all of that. Well, first off, I do not believe Kratom is just as dangerous. Now, I will say that there are people who have taken Kratom for years, are addicted to it. It is an opioid. It's like an opiate, and it can get you high. And there are there are many people that say that it's addictive, and I would pretty much agree that it can be addictive. I know some people who were on it for years, and now they have just as much of a problem with that as heroin. The reason why I advocate for Kratom for methadone withdrawal is because methadone takes, for largely many of the population that take it, takes 3 months to get off of it, and to feel normal, it takes 6 months. So I just passed my 13 months without methadone. And I'll say that probably 2 months ago, I started feeling normal, like my old self. The reason why Kratom is good for methadone withdrawal is if you use it correctly. If you have, say, if you're going through methadone withdrawal and it's horrific. Kratom, when used only when you're using it for the withdrawal symptoms, you do not typically, in my case, you do not have a lot of withdrawal from the Kratom. So for example, when I got off of it, I was on it for 4 months, right? And every time I started having methadone withdrawal symptoms, I took Kratom, and I didn't do it recreationally. Now that's the key. So you have to be kind of self-disciplined and only taking it when you're starting to feel the withdrawal symptoms. And that's what I did. And after 4 months, I said, okay, I don't want Kratom to be an issue, because there have been times where I'd taken a little too much, and I'd actually gotten high. And I said, I don't want this to become a problem for me like it was originally with the prescription medications that I had taken for a hernia, right? And so I stopped Kratom, and I stopped Kratom cold turkey. And you can see the Kratom withdrawal video. After 3 or 4 days, I felt a slight buzzing for a few hours, and it was a little bit uncomfortable, but it was nowhere near what methadone was to me. Now, I will say that there are people who are on Kratom for years and years, and they have to slowly taper down. And there are many people that are on Kratom that have to enter methadone clinics because they're so addicted to it. So I am not at all minimizing the effect that Kratom has to an addicted mindset. But in the case of what I've experienced and what many others have said, especially in the comment sections, Kratom can indeed help you get off of methadone, because when you take it for methadone withdrawal symptoms, and you take it for a couple months, it's a lot easier to get off of than methadone. right? I'm not saying that if you're on methadone for multiple years and then you're on kratom for multiple years, that kratom is a lot easier to get off of. I'm saying that if the situation were reversed, right? Say you're on kratom and you took methadone to alleviate the withdrawal symptoms. Well, once after a couple months, once you're done with the kratom withdrawal symptoms and you try to get off of methadone cold turkey, that's not going to be good, because methadone is, in my opinion, more horrific withdrawal wise. But if you're on methadone for many years and you have to get off of methadone cold turkey, kratom is far better for it, right? And I don't know, there's not a lot of studies on it, whether kratom is as addictive as any other thing and stuff like that. The FDA and all of that stuff, the research is still out because there's not a lot of people who are doing it. But I'm talking about in my experience, right? Let me just say, methadone cold turkey is not suggested at all. This is for people who have to. They got cut off at the clinic for whatever reason. They moved. There was some instance that they have to get off cold turkey. That's what I'm saying. That if you have to get off cold turkey, that there is a solution, and that is kratom. Soon, I just talked to somebody in the comment section, and I told them I will be talking about how to give off methadone if you want to get off methadone. I'm not saying that, because methadone has its place. I believe it helps stabilize people who are on heroin and stuff like that, and it helps them function as a job and stuff like that. But when you are ready to get off methadone, if you want to, I'm going to talk about the many ways that people do so with a slow taper. And this involves talking to your doctor, talking to your psychologist, and all of that stuff. So look for that video. I'm also doing a kratom documentary on the 1st once I get the funds to do so, because I don't do this for money. This is mostly just to help people. But anyways, just want to clear that up. So bullet points: I do not promote getting off methadone cold turkey at all. Only if you have to. I talk about the ways that you can do so. But anyways, and also another one, I don't think that kratom as a recreational drug, especially if you take it for years, is easy to get off of. My withdrawal video was talking about after 4 months of using it for methadone cold turkey, it was significantly easier to get off of it than a cold turkey methadone is. So anyways, talk to you guys later. Thanks for listening.